Welcome back to another Tera Plays Tera video. Today's video is going to go over Tera Console's 109.01 patch notes. And I gotta say, these patch notes are honestly pretty interesting. I'm glad to see some things are already getting incorporated, and I'm glad to see that the game is actually moving in a form of forward direction. So the first thing to start off is we have dungeon changes, and that Catalypticon, I apologize if I butchered the shit out of that, will be opening. This is going to be a 465 dungeon, just like other dungeons. It'll work as if you don't have any elite, you can only enter one time. Gold elite, you'll be able to enter 3 times like the rest of the dungeons in the game, or at least these high tier dungeons. You can enter this dungeon in Essentia and Timeless Woods, and yeah, so I gotta be honest, I'm really happy to see a new PC dungeon, or a PC dungeon that's new to console, being added again. And honestly, this is a quick turnaround from Gossamer's Vault being added, so hopefully we start seeing more and more and more, along with other changes going to the game. The next dungeon that is being reopened is Cursed AA. This was meant to be open this past month, but due to delays they couldn't. But it is being brought back officially now. It is going to continue holding its 470 item level, and its entrance will be, as of always, outside of Velica outskirts. Within that, they are making changes to Gossamer's Vault Hard. That being that a lot of people were having issues seeing the wing pattern. This should be resolved. They, say they know the problem and they are trying to fix it. Again, this isn't an issue on Xbox's side from what I've seen. It's only an issue on PlayStation's side of things. I don't know, we'll have to see. Hopefully it's resolved. Again, a recap on what dungeons are being open. That is Cursed AA and Catalypticon. The dungeons being closed is Bahar officially, and again, Bahar was meant to be closed. So going forward with that, it's really cool that we, they're not saying RMHM's getting closed, which means this should staple that we have 2 465s for the first time. I'm really happy to see that. I'm really happy to see that they're adding higher level dungeons, because I think this is necessary. I think hopefully by December, and in that short time, that we actually see a second 470 and the first release of a 475 or 474, something harder than 470. Hoping. Don't hold your breaths. Don't come at me if you're like, after that time, they haven't done it. I don't know. I'm just saying, from the way things have been going, hopefully this is where things will go, and hopefully they'll take more advice. The other thing they can do is, hopefully in the future, they will add Catalypticon's hard mode at 465. Again, I am very biased on, I would have preferred to see Dracon's Arena or Timescape. I feel these dungeons are higher staples in at least the PC world, where these dungeons are, maybe it's just more known to me that these are loved, but I haven't seen too much of Catalypticon that I don't know. But do know Catalypticon does have a hard mode. I actually had to double check this, and so that could come out as our first 464 or 5. But just seeing that this is being added only 2-3 months after Gossamer's Vault is very, very exciting to see that, hey, we're actually getting content on a reasonable timeline. So I'm super excited to see that. Hopefully the devs keep up that good work. Guilds are getting a small change, and that is just that the Gossamer's Vault Hard and Normal Mode Guild Quest will be added. I hope that goes the same for Catalypticon, that they add that and they don't take too long, but it is what it is. The event dungeon essence reward list will be changed. As for what, stay tuned. I'll do an update video like I always do in game on what those rewards are. For world events, this being Guardian Legion missions, they increase the item XP reward from 100 to 200. So nice quality of life change. Equipment. Alright, this is where things get tricky. Because it's kind of just worded weirdly again. So they're increasing the defense modifier on the Kai's Fury armor pieces. Again, I'm gonna assume this is the chest plate. It might be all of them. The ones that have defense from 1% to 1.3. And then it seems like the Kai's Fury armor chest plate that had damage from frontal attacks is now getting reverted back to increased damage. So, assuming the way it's worded and the mistake that I made the last time they did this, I think just the chest piece, the defense modifier, the green roll for the 1%, I want to say it's a green roll. I would have to go in game and check. It seems like this is going to go from 1 to 1.33. And then obviously all our frontal damage or frontal defense is going to increase damage. Again, interesting change. I think people at +9 were just too tanky that having the decreased damage from frontal attacks was a little much. And I think increasing people's damage by 3% who are +9, I don't know. I mean, we still have the +12 or the 12% on the top chest. It's extra damage is what it is. They'll just have to balance it as they go on. So, interesting choice to revert back. But within that, let's move on to stigmas, as stigmas are getting a slight change, which I am happy to see, and I hope this continues to keep getting reworked. So the superior stigmas will be stronger. They go into detail here that each superior has a passive. Those that don't know, bosses have a weakness to specific stigmas. And special stigmas is 1% per level of enchant, where normals is 0.6 level enchant. I don't know what it used to be. I always thought it was an increase of 1%. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe now we'll see those being higher. But, you know, this is something that I don't really know need to be messed with. But, I mean, hey, if they feel like that's needed, then sure. Superior defense stigmas definitely needed this change, and they still need more, but I'm happy to see that they're upgrading it, that the damage to target with most aggro is getting majorly increased. So the 2.4 is going up to 3.4, 2.8 is going up to 3.8, and 3.2 is going up to 4.2. So all of these are getting an additional 1% increase. I think this is a good start. I don't think it's the end all be all that needs to happen. DZ actually gave me some really cool suggestions. That being defense stigmas would do AoE damage. They could do not only crit power, but they could also do something where, you know, the tank would apply more endurance off their attacks, like an endurance shred by like point something %. Lots of cool little ideas that hopefully we'll see implemented into defense stigmas to give, you know, tanks more reason to run defense instead of running souls or attacks. Again, this is a great start, but hopefully they do more. DZ had other suggestions that maybe I'll implement into my State of Terra console stuff on the next video I do of that. But hopefully they keep working stigmas, because this is not the end all be all in my opinion. Last, we just have some miscellaneous changes, that being the inspection of other people's gear has been updated to where we can now see what stigmas people are running. This is something that I've been wondering what's going on, if they were ever going to implement. I don't think it's really crazy, but I mean, you're able to inspect people's weapons and everything else. Why not stigmas? Kaya's accessory is getting a major update, which I think is really good that they're finally adding this. Hopefully this is a precursor to things in the future. Thus being, you can alter whether if you have a power or crit jewelry. This is something PC had that has been needed to be added to console for the last year, in my opinion. And thus being, let's say you have a crit necklace, but you want a power necklace instead, you can get the accessory morpher, and it will alter your crit to power. Or if you think you need more crit, you can change your power jewelry to critical jewelry. Again, when this item is added in game, it should be added to a shop for gold. But we'll see, when it's actually updated, where you need to go to obtain these items. But like I said, hopefully this is a precursor to a crit rework, because that's something that PC got right around the same time these came out, if I recall. I could be wrong, but I want to say this is a precursor to that. And hopefully that's something they look at changing, because classes like Sork, Ninja, Zerks, Archers really do have to run a crazy amount of crit. And they didn't even say for Cursed AA if they were reducing its crit resistance. So these classes might have to go full critical, and at least if they do, they have this method to revert their stuff without hopefully giving an arm and then leg to have multiple jewelry. Again, time will tell. They've adjusted the drop item effect. The drop effect of low value items will be removed and changed. Not really sure what they mean by that, other than, maybe items that just aren't valued in the game are getting removed again. Again, maybe I can figure that out more once I see the change in game. And the last thing, which is something that I've been, I kind of forgot about, that PC had a change for this, is just the time required to open automatic openings. In other words, things like your Guardian Legion jewel boxes, your etching boxes, the talent boxes, any of these boxes that take forever to open, they've decreased the time it takes to open these. That is a very good quality of life change. Again, some of this stuff actually was stuff I was suggesting in my 2024 What Tera console needs. Not to the full extent of what it needs, but hey, I mean, decent solid patch, new dungeon for a lot of people to explore and try, good basic concepts being applied. Again, I'm glad to see that our jewelry is getting accessory morphers. Maybe stigmas can also get stigma morphers in the future. Maybe this is something they'll explore an idea of, but we can only know by waiting and seeing. Hopefully the devs release more information about stuff like this on Twitter. But until then, I'll do my best to cover it. Again, I'll do my best to try and communicate with them. But honestly, super excited for this patch. Super excited to see this new dungeon. This is actually a dungeon I've personally never played. I've only heard about it. And I've heard mixed reviews on both sides of the spectrum, so. But still, yeah, I think console needs more content, and this is a baby step towards that direction, and hopefully they keep doing more. And I'm just happy that they added another dungeon 3 months after adding a dungeon. Hopefully that does mean that truly we'll keep getting more dungeons, and I'm glad we're adding something, adding 2 dungeons and not removing 2 dungeons, because I think Tera console really needs to focus on adding more content, not removing content. So that's about it for this video. If you got any questions about any of this stuff, I'll do my best to answer. I've tried to go over it the best I can from the knowledge that I have. Again, stay tuned for when the update does drop. I will do obviously an in-game update of the changes. And as always, if you got questions, feel free to ask in the comments section. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed and you keep coming back, well, please consider subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. That's about it, and I hope to see you in Aboria, gamers.